Hello, my name is Andrew Smitty, and today we're going to talk about eBay branding. This is for my professional communications course at Indiana Tech Community College. eBay is an online marketplace. It was started by Pierre Midier in 1995. An online marketplace is a place where just about everything is for sale. eBay didn't start out as actually eBay. It was first called the auction web, and it was very small. Being that a Meteor was the first employee, he had to do all of the work himself, posting pictures online, building the page, designing it, doing everything. And it took off pretty quickly. And the first thing that he sold was a broken laser pointer for just under $15. He was confused on the fact that it sold because it was broken. So he contacted the buyer and told him that it was broken. And he said that he actually collected broken laser pointers. And that was how eBay really took off, because it wasn't just about items that worked, it was about finding markets and what people were actually looking for. In 1996, he hired his first employee, Chris Agarpeo is his name. He is still there to this day. Just to show you a little bit about how the company is. But eBay in 1995 got their first CEO, which was Jeff Skoll, and they sold their millionth item in the summer of 1997. In the fall of 97, they changed the name from Auction Web to eBay. And eBay actually means electronic bay. Electronics, of course, for digital media, the use of the internet, and bay, which stood for safe harbor, meaning a safe place to conduct business, a safe place to shop. So the electronic bay is what it was called, eBay for short. eBay started off as a person-to-person sales, meaning that an average citizen could sell stuff online to the average citizen. And then it grew to involve businesses that also started to sell to the individual consumers as well. And that's how eBay has stayed to this day. In 98, eBay began to grow more and more. They bought their first company, Jump Incorporated, which had another online marketplace called Up for Sale. Up for Sale was actually out of Cincinnati, Ohio, where I'm from. And it was very popular back in the day as a place where you could sell small items for cheap and you could buy stuff for cheap. It definitely was very similar to eBay. And so they bought it and incorporated that market base into what they already had and grew eBay up a little bit larger. In 1999, eBay went global. They opened up sites in Germany, Australia, and even in the UK. In the spring of 2000, they opened up eBay Motors and started selling all different kinds of vehicles. In the summer of 2000, eBay University was started. eBay University was designed to designed to teach people how to be master sellers, how to sell things the best way possible to make the most profit, to make your pages look appealing and understandable on eBay. Because a lot of people started making their own businesses, and some of them have been successful. And eBay University was a big tool to help people learn how to master that. And they still have eBay University to this day. eBay acquired Half.com in 2000. Half.com sold all forms of media online. Music, books, a lot of things that eBay really didn't sell as much, didn't have a lot of that kind of inventory until they acquired Half.com, and then they had a larger amount of things available. And that's kind of where eBay really changed into just about being able to sell everything. Now, there are some things that eBay doesn't sell, like guns. That's a big thing they don't sell. They don't sell, of course, any illegal substances and things like that as well either. But they're very limited. It's a very short list of things that they don't sell, because as they've acquired more and more companies, they increased the things that they had available. One thing that they also did in 2000 was they changed their page to a new thing called Buy It Now. And what Buy It Now was is that when you were having an auction, you'd have a set price that people were agreed upon, and it would go up higher and higher and higher. But the seller would have a set limit that they wanted the item to sell for at a minimum. If you just wanted that item and you didn't want to participate in the auction, you could just go right to the Buy It Now price and just buy it. That made things a lot more convenient for the people that really didn't have time to sit there and check auctions and get overbid and all of that kind of stuff. If you just wanted the item, you could just hop right over and buy it right then and there. That, in my opinion, was a big game changer for eBay. eBay stores were also introduced in late 2000, and that was where they started having storefronts in towns and cities where eBay items were actually sold. You could physically go in the stores and buy the stuff that was available. You could also still go online. You could have stuff delivered to those stores, pick it up in person, and you could also conduct business there. So it did have a lot of conveniences, and there still are a few around, but it seems like it's starting to get back to online because there's so much online competition now with Amazon and all these other places out there that it's really not as convenient for the storefronts because the volume of material is much larger than any storefront on the internet. In 2001, Giving Works starts. eBay Giving Works. And eBay Giving Works was a nonprofit idea that they came up with at eBay where they would have online auction items and they would take the profit and donate it to charities. And the first thing that they actually donated it to was to September 11th, where they raised $10 million for the families and the victims of that horrible tragedy right through eBay. In the winter of 2000, eBay bought iBazaar. iBazaar was basically a European eBay all over the European nation, where you could do basically the same kind of thing, but it made eBay much larger because instead of just having Germany, Australia, and the UK, now they were in Europe, they were in Russia, they were in Spain. They really grew their base really fast by jumping into iBazaar, just about doubled what they had at the time. And they also acquired PayPal. And PayPal is another big game changer for eBay. PayPal made paying for purchases and people getting paid for what was bought much more convenient. You create a PayPal account. You buy whatever items you want to buy as a buyer. As a seller, you create an eBay account and that money gets credited onto your PayPal account for you. And then you just have to cash out the PayPal. You could put it on a card, take it to the bank, cash it out. You could just keep it on a card and use it anywhere you want to use it. And PayPal, at that time, it really wasn't widespread, but now PayPal is everywhere. You can use PayPal pretty much anywhere nowadays, and it's just growing more and more and more. In the fall of 2005, eBay bought Skype, and Skype is an app where you can make videos and communicate face to face from far distances. I personally like Skype. I wasn't even aware that eBay had even acquired it. They really didn't incorporate it or use it in anything, but they bought it. They invested a lot of money in it, increased the value of it, and then they turned around and sold it a few years later for nearly $1 billion extra than what they bought it for, increasing the value of eBay. So it was definitely a smart investment, and it increased their worth. In 2006, eBay sold their 2 millionth vehicle through eBay Motors. So that shows how successful eBay Motors was at the same time as everything else. And by 2008, eBay was basically everywhere. International, global, you name it. You can go anywhere. If there's an internet connection, you can find eBay there. In 2009 is when eBay actually sold Skype. And by that point, eBay's net income was $1.72 billion a year. Now that's impressive. So, brand building. eBay's brand building strategy was basically buying up like companies that were smaller, incorporating them into what they had, taking the best parts out of them, and keeping all of their customer base, growing their company up larger and larger. They changed their name from Auction Web to eBay, which was a much catchier name, much catchier logo, much simpler, easier to understand. And then it became easier for them to push that brand out there because of making changes and adjustments and adding on a lot of services and software as well. They added attractive features from acquisitions, including eBay's companies like PayPal and things like that. And that made eBay the 9th largest internet company by revenue. This is my assistant, my daughter. And unfortunately, I could not keep her out of this video because she's only 3 years old and she's visiting her dad. So I do apologize, but hopefully her cuteness gets me some brownie points. That concludes my video. I really appreciated the class. Thank you very much. And I hope that my speech wasn't too bad. But thank you very much, and have a good night and a good holiday.